hydrogen is the most effective solution to our fuel crisis. The advocate supported his claim by arguing that hydrogen is the most renewable of the alternative fuels, the cleanest, and finally the most cost-effective. For his first point, the advocate claims that hydrogen is the most renewable of the alternative fuels. He failed to legitimize his claim because solar power is indefinitely the most renewable alternative fuel. The sun is more reliable than hydrogen because the only way to run out of solar energy is if the sun blows up. And luckily, the sun is an atom-sized star, so there's no possibility for the sun to blow up. Also, solar energy is currently a leading alternative. There's no need to spend billions on research and development of hydrogen if solar power is already being used efficiently. People already use solar power to heat water heaters, pool heaters, and appliances. There are also several rewards in place for people that use solar power, and according to Energy Star, there's a 30% tax break if you install a solar power heater in your home. As a second point, the advocate claims hydrogen is the cleanest alternative fuel because its only exhaust is water, and it also produces less CO2 emissions compared to gasoline. According to Popular Mechanics, a reduction in carbon dioxide emissions is only achieved if the energy used to make hydrogen is obtained from non-carbon sources. Nowadays, the majority of hydrogen produced comes from fossil fuels. Second, water vapor being released in the atmosphere is not as harmless as the advocate claims it is. It's suggested that water vapor emitted by hundreds of millions of vehicles will actually trap heat into the atmosphere and contribute to global warming. Evaporated water is a greenhouse gas, a gas that absorbs and re-emits infrared radiation into the atmosphere, thereby increasing temperatures. Lately, Europe has been heating up, which has been leading to studies and debates as to why. According to a team of Swiss scientists, heat from other greenhouse gases is causing more water to evaporate, releasing the vapor into the atmosphere, which in turn adds to the greenhouse effect and warms the region. The lead researcher of the World Radiation Center in Davos, Switzerland, Rolf Filipona, explains, the experiment clearly shows which factors are driving the higher temperatures. It is not the clouds, not the sun, not the aerosols. It's the increased strong water vapor impact. This study proves that adding extra water in our atmosphere, as hydrogen gas will, is not the cleanest alternative. For his final claim, the advocate states that hydrogen is the most cost-effective solution and further explains that hydrogen is cheaper to transport than electricity. He fails to mention the infrastructure that would need to take place in order to transport hydrogen because our current gas lines would not be adequate. According to Popular Mechanics, the infrastructure to build natural gas plants that would make hydrogen will cost $1 trillion. Also, because of hydrogen embrittlement of steel, our current natural gas pipes will have to be coated to protect them, and Popular Mechanics reports the cost of treatment is approximately $1 million per mile. And the Energy Information Administration states that there are currently 305,000 miles of these pipelines. The advocate also argues that hydrogen fuel is less costly than solar panels. Solar energy is free, and purchasing a solar panel is a one-time investment, whereas the cost of purchasing hydrogen gas is a lifelong investment. Also, people would need to convert their cars or would need to purchase new cars, so that's another expense. And Popular Mechanics states that the cost of a gallon of hydrogen gas produced by natural gas would be $3 a gallon, and that isn't significantly less than what we're already paying for gas now. In closing, based on the evidence I've provided, accepting the conclusion of the advocate is not validated by his argument. Thank you.
All right, all the structural issues are solid. You signpost each point as you get to it. You make it pretty clear what your secondary claim is or what your claim in response is. You've usually got counterclaims on these points. I thought that you did an excellent job citing evidence on your counterclaims and trying to back that up. I think you had the one piece of information about the tax breaks for solar energy. I think you could have used some other information to indicate the current use of solar energy or other things that would encourage it, but that was a good piece of factual data that you cited there. On the exhaust issue, you had very specific source citations on the problems with vapors from hydrogen and some of the problems that come up there. I thought there was a good explanation about how it impacts the climate, and then there was also the additional cost that you talked about of having to do the transition, and that's on the third point. The one thing that I see going on here is you've got a lot of counterclaims, and I think all of the counterclaims are relevant to the original claims, but if we were in a debate, the first thing that I would do if I was the original advocate is I'd look to see whether or not those counterclaims actually undermined my original point. Since you're not denying the evidence or the ground or the reasoning that the advocate used, and just the conclusion, it's possible that both of these things could be competitive. I think maybe a little bit more analysis of what their argument was would strengthen your position, but the counterclaims that you had I thought were really solid. All right. Thank you.